I'm your American correspondent for Real Ale Craft Beer, and today we're going to drink some Spencer Trappist Ale. Now, they're from Spencer, Massachusetts, which is right outside of Worcester, Mass. I grew up in Grafton, Mass. Spencer's like kind of opposite ends from each other from where Grafton is, probably about 15-20 miles away. My wife's family actually has a summer cottage on a lake there. It's a nice little town, very traditional looking New England town. And the story behind Spencer Trappist is really interesting. This is actually a true monastery, which you have to be Trappist ale. You can't be a Trappist ale without a certified Trappist ale. This is the only certified Trappist ale in America. So you can't be a certified Trappist ale without having a monastery. It has to be produced at a monastery. The monks at the monastery traditionally made jellies and jams, and that's how they earned their money. They were losing money, so they ended up going into brewing beer. It was a big deal when this came out. It was all over the local media. All my local friends was like, hey, did you see this? It's coming out. Did you see this? We're going to have Spencer Trappist Ale. So I got like 1,000 emails on it when it first came out. And so I gave them a try. So it is a Belgian Pale Ale, 6.5% alcohol by volume. You should look it up. It's called Spencer Brewing. Go ahead and Google Spencer Brewing. Look up their website. It's really, really interesting. Let's go ahead and give this a crack. It is bottle conditioned, so we should have some nice little floaties in it. And see, we got a lot of action from the yeast in the bottle. Go ahead and give this a pour. It's about 100 degrees here in New England this afternoon, so rather than drinking a light lager, we're going to drink a Trappist ale, because that's what we do. We suffer for our art. I can't actually see the yeast floating in it, and it's hazy. It's not clear. It's a dark orange. As I said, lots of carbonation or a lot of action from the yeast, so we got about, what, 2.5 fingers of just slightly off-white head on it. Let's go ahead and do the aroma. And it smells exactly like you'd expect the Trappist ale to smell. You get a lot of malt. You get that banana, that ester of banana. A little bit of coriander. Some clove. Get a little bit of that brewer's sugar in there, that sweetness. Just a delicious smelling beer. Very, very, very traditional, what you'd expect out of a beer like this. Let's go ahead and give it a taste. So you get that banana up front. You really do. You taste that. You get the clove. You get the coriander. I have to admit, I might have this just a tad too cold right now, so some of the flavors might be masked slightly. But it's, again, exactly what you expect. Very true to the style. Again, it's the only authentic Trappist ale brewed in America. And I guess there's a group of abbeys that have gotten together that authenticate Trappist ales, and you have to have certain criteria met, and they meet it. I don't know where they get their yeast from. I'm assuming one of the Trappist breweries in Belgium gave them access to the yeast. Everything else is pretty, pretty common that you can get as far as your malts and your hops. The yeast can be tricky. As we said, a lot of the banana flavor and the clove, that comes from the yeast. So we get banana, clove, get a little bit of malt, you get some sweetness, I said that brewer's sugar in there, and then just a hint of bittering at the end. The hops are more of a nice counterpoint rather than overwhelming you. Just a solid beer. Extremely true to the style, just what you'd expect. Authentic, delicious. Like I said, it's hot today, so actually, even though it's a little colder than it should be, it actually hits the spot. I'm going to give this a solid 88 out of 100. Until next time, keep drinking.